everybody? Coach Lou, Major Gains. How you doing? So, today I'm going to be doing just a total body workout. I decided that I'm probably going to start prepping. Probably. It's not guaranteed, but probably going to start prepping for a early summer show. I might do the Atlantic States in Jersey, so yeah. Right now I'm just kind of keeping my volume down, keeping my training down, because quite honestly, like, after prepping for this last show earlier in December, I just don't really care to be in the gym as much. Really just been focusing on my clients and but yeah, slowly but surely getting in. So today, what I'm just going to do is show you a bit of what I'm doing, and yeah. Today is going to be 4 sets of every body part, so I'm going to do 1 exercise per body part, 4 sets, 10 reps, get in, get out, and enjoy the rest of my day. Let's go. So anytime I decide that I'm training upper body that day, what I like to do is a full upper body dynamic warm-up. Opening up the shoulders, doing band dislocates, which is probably one of my favorite. This is going to open up that chest. This is going to make those shoulders feel great. And it just keeps you from being so tight, really. And then I'll go usually right into band pull-aparts. And this is obviously going to target that rear delt, that that mid back, the upper mid back, and basically just makes you, I don't know, it just makes you feel good. I don't really have any other explanations for that, except obviously. And then here, there's a lot of ways that you can do your shoulder protractions and retractions, and I can do it with a dumbbell, but I like to keep the sequence with the band because basically I just don't have to move anywhere, and I'm pretty lazy as long as I get my warm-up done correctly. So I'll do these pretty much like 8 to 10 per side, and then obviously I love finishing off with banded face pulls. Getting those rear delts going, getting the shoulders open, getting that chest open, getting that back fired up, and that's really it. So the first exercise today of my total body is the dumbbell bench press, flat dumbbell bench. For me, I usually switch up the angles of my chest workouts depending on the movements and on the days and the frequency of what I'm doing. So right here is a pretty light set with 45s for 10 reps. I count this as my first set. It's not a warm-up. Yeah, so what we're doing today is pretty simple. When going full body workouts, probably the best way to get the most out of it. There we go. Actually, zoom that out a bit. The best way to get the most out of your training is to go antagonistic body parts. So what that means is I'm starting off with chest. I'm not going to go with the shoulders because when I'm doing chest workouts, of course you're going to get some shoulder activation of that, right? So I'll go chest to back to shoulders. So you're alternating, right? You're going from that anterior aspect, posterior, back to anterior. And then from there, you bang out your legs. The opposite of quads is hamstrings. So I'll go upper body, front, lower body, front, back. You want to do glutes in there and isolate glutes. You might do glutes, quads, hamstrings. But that keeps you from tiring out those muscle groups that synergistically work together, and you can get the most out of your training. So I'm going to bang out, again, some flat dumbbell presses, then I'm going to some lat pull downs, and then I'm going to go into some shoulder press. Let's get it.
after the chest, I'll go into back, and as you can see, I'm doing lat pull downs. Now, depending on the frequency of the back exercises that I'm doing throughout the week, maybe one day will be a vertical pull, which will be pull-ups and lat pull downs, and the other days will be rows, or I might even mix them up. But today, because I'm only doing 4 sets for back, I'm doing 4 sets of lat pull downs, and I'm just alternating grips. Now, alternating grips isn't going to, like going wide isn't going to build your lats wider, right? It's all the same lat, but what you are doing is you are just getting a little bit of stimulus depending on the angle of the pull in and of itself. So I like to go underhand or that chin up grip. That is one of my favorites to do for people, including myself, because that gets you out of what's known as thoracic flexion, which is what, when people have that upper, that rounded upper back. So allowing a full range of motion with an underhand grip at the very top is going to get you out of that and give you a little bit more extension of the upper back, and that's just going to make you, stand taller, make you look normal versus, really like a hunched over a hunchback. So as you can also tell, no matter what my pull is and my hand grip variation, I'm always pulling to the top of my chest. I don't bring it down to my belly button. I don't bring it down to anywhere else but the top of the chest. That's where you're going to be able to get a good squeeze in the lats, and that's where you're going to be able to get the most effective pulls when you're doing these lat pull downs.
Without acting alone, happily come slow, happily come slow. You without have no soul.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing lateral delt raises and eventually you'll see bent over lateral raises when I say that I'm only doing 4 sets per muscle group. The thing is with shoulders that there's 3 heads to the shoulders: anterior front, lateral side, rear, the posterior. So in order to get a full effect of the shoulder workout, you need to hit all 3 heads. So because I've hit the anterior pretty hard, I just kept the weight lighter on the lateral and rear, and I did 1 less set. But overall, I hit the shoulders how I wanted to. Now I'm going to be very quick with this one. When you're doing back extensions, you want that pad low enough that you're able to get full flexion and extension of the hip without rounding that lower back. So if you see my back through the entire motion, it's flat the entire time. You want to make sure that you're getting a very good stretch of the hamstrings. And a really good way to do this is to keep your chest up as you're going down, and that's how you'll keep that back flat, and you're going to be able to get those hamstrings and glutes the way you want.
So really, that's my training in a nutshell. It's not fancy, but it works. You'll never get some weird, unfounded, nutty kind of training. You're not going to see Bosu balls and I don't know, whatever else that they're putting out there that they want to consider as functional. Because at the end of the day, training, if you're training with a purpose, it's functional, right? So this is why I set up my program for these next couple weeks the way that I have. 1, you need shoulders, you need chest, you need back, you need arms, you need quads, you definitely need quads, and you need hamstrings and glutes. And, calves too. Damn. Anyway, you need to train the body, and when you've been training quite long, you need to give yourself a break and cut down that volume, cut down the amount of training that you're doing so that you can ramp back up and hit that volume once again. So after my show I took a week off of no training, and then I went into 2 days of training, and now I'm at 3, and I'm going to stay at 3, maybe 2, until the new year. And then from there, then we start ramping up again. 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Maybe not 6 days for a while. I like to do that during prep, and I'll get to that at a later video. But you got to make sure that when you're training with a purpose, and you're giving yourself enough time to rest. You're giving yourself enough time to recover from your training, and really that's it. If you want the physique that you want, you got to have a program and a structure and essentially time to give that, right? So for most people, training 3 to 4 days and getting your nutrition in order, tracking your macros, is going to far exceed anything you could possibly do, because exercise is just a very small percentage of it. Yes, your activity out and the things that you do, obviously you have to move and use energy, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to, either A, put on size if you're eating for that, and which means you have to actually intake more energy, more calories, or if you're trying to lose body fat, you want to get slimmer, you want to get more tone, then you're going to have to, you have to find that right balance of nutrition and training. And most people put way too much emphasis on the training, and then they're wondering why they're not seeing the results, because they're not hitting their nutrition. So for somebody like me who has a solid grasp on this concept, training 2 or 3 times a week to start for a while is going to far exceed and give you the results that you want, so long as your nutrition's in order. So that's why in this, and you want to get the most out of your training as well, right? So this is why you saw in the video me doing a total body workout. If you do total body workouts 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to get way more from it than doing, let's say, arms on one day, chest on another day, and then maybe you'll hit calves and legs on another day. And a lot of people tend to skip leg day anyway, and we see you. And if you just start off with about 10 sets per body part a week, and just alternate some of those rep ranges. Like earlier in the week, I did 4 sets of 8 reps for everything. Then yesterday's session, which you saw, is 4 sets of 10. And then tomorrow, Friday, I will be doing 4 sets of 12, and I'll alternate and I'll change up some of those exercises. So now I'm getting 12 working sets a week on each body part. It's low volume for me, but it's a very solid roundabout way of training. And when you simplify these concepts and you simplify your training, and you just overall just simplify your approach, your training gets better, your life gets better, and what more can you ask for? So I'm going to be putting out a lot more of these videos, whether it's training, whether it's, something that I'm going through, maybe explaining, some of my client struggles. Like I just made a previous video on mansplaining to men and how we're not able to really talk about body image issues the way that women are. And I think there's a big ego aspect to that. And I'll link that in the description, because I really think a lot of men out there are going to really see or can really relate to that video. So that's it. This is the first time I'm saying it, but like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip. Peace. And it's pretty prevalent in society that women have to live up to some type of beauty standard, some type of figure standard.